watching out for you on air, online, on the go. This is 24-Hour News 8.
Look at this factory. Look what's happening in Holland, Michigan. Every day, hundreds of people are going to work on the technologies that are helping us to fight our way out of this recession.
At a critical time for the nation's economy, the President of the United States took his message to West Michigan today, trying to push for moves he says will create jobs, and criticizing Congress. The Republican Speaker of the House calls it political grandstanding. 24-Hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia watched this speech. He has more on why the president picked Holland and what he had to say.
Brian, at least in part, the president tried to make the case that the government has a direct role in creating jobs.
So let's think about it. What made this possible?
The president first credited the workers, the inventors, the managers at the hybrid electric battery plant in Holland.
But what also made this possible are the actions that we took together as a nation, through our government.
The plant, run by Johnson Controls and its European partner Saft, won a $299 million federal stimulus matching grant and $168 million in state incentives. Critics often say the government has no business picking winners and losers. But President Obama says investments in clean energy will save Americans on gas money, reduce the need for overseas oil, and create jobs. When the Holland plant is at full capacity, Johnson Controls says it'll put 320 people to work. Around 70 people work there now. As he spoke to current workers and others, the president outlined steps he says will create more jobs, including renewing a payroll tax cut that the president says kept an extra $1,000 in the average family's pockets. He also talked about reforming the patent system, spending more on road construction, and signing new free trade agreements.
We've got a lot of Americans driving Kias and Hyundais. I want folks in Korea driving Fords and Chevys and Chryslers. I'd like to see that. The only thing keeping us back is our politics. There's some in Congress right now who would rather see their opponents lose than see America win. And that has to stop. It's got to stop.
That was a theme for the president today, who blamed the nation's debt downgrade on an unwillingness to compromise in Congress.
There is nothing wrong with our country. There is something wrong with our politics.
House Speaker John Boehner said today the president likes to talk about being the adult in the room, but he says there's nothing adult about political grandstanding. Also after the speech, State Senator Arlen Meekhoff said Republicans were the only one to offer a real plan on the debt.
The president hasn't said what it is that he's willing to do, and I think he missed the mark.
Now to the race to try to replace President Obama. 8 of the Republicans who want that job are in Iowa tonight. They're just wrapping up a debate. It's coming just days ahead of the Iowa straw poll, which some observers say could make or break some candidates. On the stage tonight were former Senator Rick Santorum, businessman Herman Cain, Congressman Ron Paul, former Governor Mitt Romney, Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, former Governor Tim Pawlenty, former Governor and U.S. Ambassador John Huntsman, and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. One issue that came up tonight that also came up when the president was here today, the issue of the president bringing Congress back into session.
He should cancel his Cape Cod vacation, call the Congress back into session, and get to work on this.
Former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty talking there about the financial issues confronting the country. The president says the country doesn't need more arguing among members of Congress. He says they should be listening to people in their districts. One more Republican set to join the field Saturday, and that's Texas Governor Rick Perry. Brian?
Thank you, Tony. And you can see the president's entire speech from this afternoon. We've got it online for you right now. Just go to woodtv.com.